Welcome to Xyed Mysteries, where every legend hides a truth and every truth leaves a shadow. I'm your narrator, and today we return to the heart of Evelyn Cross's journey, a quest that began with a map and led to a revelation that could rewrite history. This is the Lost Map, Episode 5, the final revelation. But before we uncover the ending, let's remember how far we've come. Recap Episode 4, The Temple's Secret. In episode 4, Evelyn Cross and her companion Jonah reached the forgotten temple hidden deep within the jungle, the Temple of the Sun. After decoding the lost civilization's symbols, they discovered that the temple wasn't merely a ruin, it was a machine, alive and ancient. Each corridor, each carved serpent eye, each pattern on the floor was part of an intricate mechanism designed to protect something far beyond treasure, a power buried since time immemorial. Inside the central chamber, they unearthed the ecliptic stone, the key to the lost map's riddle. But the temple had guardians. Shadows moved without form. Statues seemed to breathe, and as Evelyn placed the missing piece of the map into the altar, a low vibration filled the walls. The temple awoke, revealing its true nature as the ground split and fire burst from the mosaic sun beneath their feet. Jonah barely pulled Evelyn to safety. The temple began to collapse, seeming behind them as if it were alive and determined to bury its secret once again. But before the dust settled, Evelyn caught sight of something glimmering in the wreckage, a small metallic disc engraved with the serpent sigil, and still pulsing with light. That was where we left off, in the shadow of a fallen temple, holding the last remnant of an impossible civilization. Episode 5, the final revelation. The jungle had gone eerily silent. Ash hung in the air, glimmering in the faint sunlight like 1,000 dying embers. Evelyn Cross stood at the edge of the ruin, her clothes torn, her eyes fixed on the smoldering remains of the Temple of the Sun. Jonah stumbled beside her, coughing through the dust. Evelyn, tell me that was worth it. She didn't reply. Her gaze had fallen to the metallic disc in her hand, the serpent-engraved artifact that hummed faintly with warmth. It felt alive. As the sun climbed higher, the jungle began to shift back into motion, birds returning, wind brushing through the leaves. Yet beneath the normalcy, there was a hum, a low pulse echoing from deep underground. Evelyn turned the disc over. There were inscriptions, microscopic runes etched in patterns resembling constellations. It was the same design they had seen carved above the temple, a central altar, a mirror of the night sky on the solstice. She whispered to herself, it wasn't just a temple. It was a warning. Hours later, they sat by the riverbank where their journey had begun. Jonah was silent, staring into the water's reflection. Evelyn was sketching in her weathered notebook, her fingers trembling as she tried to capture what she had seen before it vanished forever. Do you remember? Jonah began, his voice hoarse. When we thought this was just about finding the lost map? A simple adventure? Evelyn smiled faintly. It was never simple. The map wasn't meant to lead us to gold or glory. It was meant to lead us to understanding. Or perhaps to test if we were ready. She held up the metallic disc, and I think we failed that test. The awakening of the sun mechanism as night fell. Evelyn built a small fire. The glow reflected off the artifact's surface, and suddenly the runes shimmered. A beam of light projected upward, forming a delicate holographic pattern of rotating symbols. Jonah's eyes widened. It's showing the temple. No, wait. It's showing something else. The projection expanded, forming an image of multiple temples across a vast continent, each marked with the same serpent sigil. Evelyn gasped. There were more of them. A network. The Temple of the Sun wasn't unique. The realization hit them both. They had only uncovered one piece of a civilization that spanned centuries and continents. And if this was just one temple's reaction, what would happen if another awakened? The light grew brighter until Evelyn could barely see. She placed her hand over the disk, whispering a single phrase she had read from the inscriptions. Let the light rest. Instantly, the projection faded. Silence returned, the truth buried beneath the light. The next morning, they trekked back toward the base camp. The jungle was calm again, but Evelyn couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched not by people, but by the past itself. At the edge of a clearing, she found an ancient stone marker she hadn't noticed before. It bore an inscription in the same ancient tongue, after. Carefully brushing away the dirt, she translated aloud, "He who awakens the sun inherits both creation and ruin. Let the cycle sleep, lest the world burn anew." Her eyes widened. It wasn't just mythology, it was history. The ancients had destroyed themselves by trying to harness the power of the sun. Jonah looked at her, realization dawning in his face. They didn't worship it, they tried to control it. Evelyn nodded slowly. "And they failed. We have to make sure no one repeats that mistake." The farewell, they reached the river, crossing the same one where their expedition began. Evelyn stopped, kneeling down beside the old oak tree that had marked their first camp. She pulled the metallic disc from her pocket, studying it one last time. It pulsed faintly, almost like a heartbeat. "Some truths," she whispered, "aren't meant to be found twice." She dug a small hole and placed the disc inside, covering it with soil and a single smooth stone. Jonah watched quietly, his voice heavy with emotion. "Do you think anyone will ever find it again?" Evelyn smiled sadly. "If they do, I hope they're wiser than we were." She placed her compass beside the stone, the same compass that had guided her since the first map fragment. Now it pointed nowhere. Its purpose, like their journey, was complete. Epilogue: the legacy of the lost map. Weeks later, Evelyn returned to civilization, her clothes clean, her demeanor calm, but her eyes distant. Reporters surrounded her, asking about the legendary discovery, but she said nothing. The official statement was simple. The expedition failed to find evidence of the lost civilization. But in her journal, under a folded map stained with jungle mud, she wrote her final entry. "Some legends are not meant to be proven. Some maps are meant to be lost so that the world may remain safe." The camera pans out as she stands on her balcony at sunset, staring at the horizon where the golden light flickers one last time, almost as if the temple were breathing beneath the earth. And so ends the lost map, the final revelation. Evelyn Cross's journey reminds us that curiosity can uncover wonders, but also awaken what? As best left sleeping. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Xyed Mysteries, where every story hides a secret and every secret waits to be told. Click the bell icon to stay updated, because the next mystery might already be closer than you think.